how to make your shading go from this to this. First, we got our little example. It's a ball. However, in the shading, we clearly see that we've been using purples and yellows for our highlights and shadows. But just as is, it's decent, but if you have multiple colors, it can get a little scary. You can still clearly see that the shadows are kind of lacking here, especially with the intensities and the darkness changes. Usually what I like to do is I like to have all my colors in one folder like this, and then I like to duplicate the folder. We're then going to merge it into a selected, meaning it's just the one shape with everything else off. It's just the one shape. We're going to copy paste it a few times based on how many little layers we've got for everything else. Then on Clip Studio Paint, if you press Control on the shading that you want, it will only select that shading. From there, we take our color layer that's all merged together, we invert the selection, and then we just remove everything in it. And we just do that for the rest of them. The exact same thing, invert, delete, deselect. It works with airbrush as well, which is amazing. So now when we take it all apart, we see the different layers that it has taken. From there, we also just want to give all of these a clipping the same as those, and then we're going to enable them again. You're going to probably use multiply, and I like to use add glow. This is what it looks like. It looks a bit ass. That's when we go up to our edit, tone correction, and then hue or control U. From here, what I like to do is do -10, 10, and then another -10. What this does is it changes the hue. Depending on the colors, if you're more towards the red, I would say do -10. If you're more towards the blue, maybe 10, just normally. But in this situation, I'm going to say 10's better because it looks better with the brown as well. Saturation, you do want your thing to be a little darker and more colorful because, you know, shadows aren't purely black. And with your luminosity, that's basically just the value that's put into it. And you'd want that to be darker, so you put that at -10. So we do that all over again. And then for our add, we want to do Control U, -10, -10, and 10, the complete opposite of it. And then we have our new glows. Now the cool thing about this as well is we can actually combine them with our current glows. What I like to do is I like to actually have them above so that it's more like a blended look. And this is what we got. Of course, you got to bring down the colors, like otherwise it's going to be hell. Now that's a bit too bright. That is a lot better. You can even see right here the differences, how it's taken those colors from before and changed up. Whereas before it was just this, all blanks. So this right here would be like our base for our shadows and our lighting. Whereas this is kind of like the undertones for what those shadows and lighting do to specific colors. You can tell it's not just purple, it's not just yellow. Like there's those other colors in there. And altogether, it looks like this.